tell. I'm finally finding my inner peace.
Welcome back to the Final Drive podcast, episode numero uno of this new season. New NFL season. We're back. And today it's just me and Ty. Ty, say what's
What's
up.
up?
There we go. Week one. We're recording this on Monday night. It is currently the second half of the Raiders-Ravens game right now. But Ty and I wanted to come in, give you a quick week one roundup. And we are extremely excited to bring you coverage of this new season the entire way through. Ty, how was weekend number one for you?
Pretty good weekend overall. One fantasy football and this big Saints win over your Packers. So I'm not complaining at all.
There you go. I can't dodge that one, can I? Why don't we just go straight at that Packers Saints game? For me, this was honestly the biggest surprise of the week, to be honest. Very much biased. I picked the Packers to win this game. And I did not even envision a blowout whatsoever. Did you see this, Ty?
I felt like it had the potential to be, but I didn't see it being that bad. I thought maybe a blowout for the Saints that week would maybe be 2 touchdowns, but not handled the way that it was handled. That was just just a slaughter.
Dude, it was very unexpected, especially coming from, or for the Packers coming off of an NFC Championship game. And you got to wonder if some of the offseason drama played a role in this week one matchup. Do you think the Saints got a little extra motivation from just having a new quarterback, from everything that's happened with the city of New Orleans? How much do you think that played a role?
I think it's definitely some motivation from the city of New Orleans. Saints fans definitely play a big impact in the Saints, and I mean Saints home field advantage is one of the top in the nation. So for Saints to just go out there and want to perform for the Saints fans, I mean that definitely factored in.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
going off-season drama, do you think the Packers off-season drama with Rodgers and Adams, do you think that made a distraction for the Packers to where they weren't coming out ready to play?
I really do think so. I think Aaron Rodgers, I'm not going to put this loss directly at Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know how to phrase this exactly, but he plays a massive part in why we got blown out. It's not necessarily the loss that I'm upset about. It's just the way that the team performed. It really just,
the announcer said it multiple times too. I don't know if it was the Jacksonville Heat. The Packers just looked tired.
they did. They really did. And it was
Like,
so weird.
I remember watching on the goal line multiple times where the Saints would be down pushing the ball, where normally the Packers defense is really intense on the goal line. They had players with just hands on their hips, just letting them basically walk in.
Exactly. On top of that, just some of the plays that Rodgers was making was very different from the MVP we saw last year. The one that I point to the most, which was the play to where Devontae was crossing over the middle. It was in the red zone, and then I don't remember which Saint got the interception, but they ran it back like 30 yards, and that was honestly the game right there. When a play that Rodgers normally makes instantly, just a quick dump off, let Adams do what he needs to do. And I'm honestly worried that Rodgers is trying to make too many plays and send a message to the front office that it's like, hey, like I'm the reason we're winning games. Like he didn't seem as bought into the system as much as he did last year. And I think the Saints really took advantage of that. And big shout out to their defense. They played outstanding the entire time.
Yeah, I was just about to say, what extent do we give the Saints defense credit? They have been
For sure.
lights out for almost 3 seasons in a row, and everyone's really been focused on the Saints offense, and no one really gives the Saints defense the credit they deserve, in my opinion. I mean, the Saints without Marshawn Lattimore absolutely
For real. Yeah.
they just shut out one of the top offenses in the league, in my opinion. I mean, the
Yeah.
Packers offense is historically known as one of the best offenses in the
Number
league.
one offense in the league last year, got held to 3 points in week one.
I mean,
Great.
you can also say it's week one blues. Jameis Winston's just luck, starters
Sure.
first luck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this Saints team is definitely jumping into the contention.
For sure. And that also reminds me, I'm going to give my player of the week to Jameis Winston. I think that he might not have had the most amazing like statistics wise game, but just seeing him use his legs and be very smart with the football was extremely impressive. And I'm extremely happy for the guy as well. I really wanted to see him succeed. I thought that he was going to succeed heading into the season. And to see him ride behind a team who has had so much going on this offseason and to really come out with a great first week effort is really inspiring to see. So shout out to Jameis for that one.
Yeah, Jameis had a really big week.
For sure.
Definitely cemented himself as QB1. I mean, the Saints had that conversation. I feel like everybody knew Jameis was going to start, but
100%.
the fact that he could come in there and secure the job really, really showed everybody.
100%. Why don't we move to a couple other games as well? I think another one that was a really good game was the Browns-Chiefs game. That was one that I really wanted to highlight.
Really
Browns
good
were
game as well.
really good
Shout out
game.
Travis Kelce winning me my fantasy game.
There you
I
go.
was tied up going into that game, and Travis said, "I'll take care of you."
Greg Jennings put the team on my back. Yeah, so the Browns were up 22-10 late in this game. And what did you see from the Chiefs that really helped them come back from that deficit?
It's 100% Mahomes. I mean, the Chiefs defense did play a role in, hey, like, we're shutting this down towards the end. But I feel like in the beginning, the Browns offense, they were pushing the ball. But I mean, at the end of the day, Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, I mean, they just couldn't be stopped.
Dude, for real. I mean,
Like
they're
3 consecutive drives of just points when they needed it.
yeah, the Chiefs are just unbelievable to watch. It's really amazing what they got going on there. You know,
That offense is just I'm talking about week 1 matchups. I'd love to see that Saints defense with a healthy Marshawn Lattimore against that Saints defense.
That'd be a great matchup for sure. I'd love to see like Chiefs Rams as well. That'd be another one I'd love to see.
Exactly. I don't know if the Rams offense is there yet, but I mean,
yeah,
I feel like all three of those teams after week 1 are definitely contenders.
For sure. Speaking of the Rams, they did beat the Bears 34-14 in a game that felt maybe closer than the score showed, but towards the end, the Rams really pulled away. God, that defense is so freaking good.
I feel like the Rams' success is, really just going to come down to Stafford and whether or not he can command the Rams as a new team, as like their new leader.
What do you think about him, Ty? What do you think about just him and Goff in that move?
I really like the move. Shout out Sean McVay, Marist alum. But
yes, sir.
I feel like that was definitely the right move in the offseason. He needed to make a push with that defense, and he got his QB1. Whether or not he has the tools around him on offense as QB1, that only time will tell. Because the running back situation's a little rougher, and the wide receivers. You have Woods and Cup, but it's no Devontae Adams, somebody like that. So
yeah.
But I feel like the Rams defense is the best defense in the league.
I agree with you.
For sure. That defense is scary. I'd put Rams, Steelers. Maybe the week 1 Saints. We got some defenses this year.
For sure. I really love what's going on there in LA. I think all the moves they're making is great. I'm a big Matthew Stafford guy. I'm having to watch him twice a year against the Packers. So good for them. Also, shout out to Justin Fields, scored his first NFL touchdown.
What do you think about Fields, McCord? Do you think
I still don't know if it's tough. It's really tough because obviously as an NFL fan, I want to see Fields play very badly. But at the same time, you also got to look at, I think maybe even part of it, they mentioned it on the broadcast that they didn't have Fields playing literally because it was Aaron Donald and what he can do to you, which sounds dumb, but also kind of makes sense at the same time. Maybe you just want to ease him in more to the role. I feel like Andy Dalton is not the cemented starter that the Bears are kind of making him out to be. I feel like they're just trying to ease Fields into his role more and more as the season goes on. And I almost guarantee that by maybe week 7, week 8, that he's the starter. Almost, I mean, I almost guarantee that.
Everyone's slamming the Bears front office, but at the end of the day, I mean, what they're doing is it's not stupid. They're not going to win this year.
Yeah.
If they start Andy Dalton, of course it's not going to be as good as Fields. What are they going to do? Basically tank, get Fields some weapons. That way, when he has a full, fresh season, he's ready to go, locked and loaded, knows the playbook, and he's got his weapons.
For sure. I do like what they're doing. I do like how they're incorporating him into regular season snaps as well. It's not just those practice snaps that he's getting during the week, and to see him get in and even score like he did, I think it's very important for not only his confidence, but just to see his teammates around him see the success that he has when he's on the field as well.
But I mean, also the Bears are another one of those teams that I almost consider the Falcons, where you have a youngish core at certain positions, but you just won't let go of the past, which is, I feel like that Bears defense is good, but like, I think I'm a big fan of, hey, we have a star on our team. He's getting up there in age, but he's still in almost the middle end of his prime. If you can dump him off to get more assets to where you can help your young core, I feel like that needs to be done. Like the Bears are solid, but at what point do you go, hey, some contending team, here's Khalil Mack, I need to build for my future. I feel like that the Bears don't want to make that move, but I've heard of teams trying to get Aaron Donald, so you never know. I mean, not Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack.
Mack, yeah.
Yeah, Vegas tried to get him back. I feel like he's definitely in a little bit of talks. So
that's very interesting. That's a great point that you make. Because a very important part about building a championship team, especially when you're rebuilding on the offense like the Bears are, is, like you said, matching that defense at the same progression. And I think that's a really good point that you make.
I mean, that's always been team's kryptonite. If you're not building your team and you're just centering it around either one aspect or the other, of course it can help. I mean, look at the Chiefs. They're offensive centered, but I mean, they added tools on defense like Tyrann Mathieu, guys like that can really elevate it. That's where you get your veterans. But if you don't have the weapons at all on one side of the ball, there's no need to keep the veterans.
For sure, yeah.
I mean,
and at the same time, it takes pressure. It almost takes pressure off of Fields, because if Fields comes in and he feels like he has to perform up to the level of the defense, or you know what I mean?
Especially guys like Khalil Mack that are like, hey, listen, Rook, we're here to win championships. I don't know how much time I have left. Instead of, hey, here's Chase Young, new pass rusher, brand new. He's like, hey, let's ready to go. Let's build our team to where we can win, not let's win now.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like as much as I bash the Falcons, and I feel like everyone is finally starting to realize it on the podcast, especially in past years, I've always said it's time for Matt Ryan to go. I mean, he's not a horrible quarterback, but he's not what the Falcons need. The Falcons really could have benefited from a Fields or somebody that could have just turned Atlanta around, because Atlanta, we can go into that game. Atlanta was just atrocious.
Atlanta lost 32-6 at home against the Eagles.
The Falcons they just put me at a loss for words. I mean, Pitts, don't get me wrong, Pitts, he's a once-in-a-generation talent. Is that what the Falcons needed? No.
Yeah. Great pick, maybe not the right pick.
I feel like it wasn't – I think in order for the Falcons to get the most value out of that pick, they should have went with maybe a trade down scenario, and they could have even packaged Julio in that trade down scenario, but instead they kept playing off that trade as well. They could have packaged Matt Ryan into a trade down scenario, get maybe that Miami, they had 2 picks in the first round. I mean, they could have grabbed a lineman and a defensive player, or a quarterback and a defensive player. I don't like the Pitts. I like Pitts as a player. I think he's going to be great, but I don't like the Pitts pick for the Falcons.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Pretty much agree with everything that you're saying for sure. Also, shout out to Jalen Hurts as well. Really tore up the
Oh
Falcons
my.
defense.
I've been a huge Jalen Hurts guy since Alabama. Been rooting for him, kind of his story.
You and me both, yeah.
And it's been great to see him perform. And I feel like the Eagles definitely, if Hurts can lead them, I think they can at least win the division,
I
especially
agree
with Fitzpatrick going down.
for sure. That's a big injury for sure. Another quarterback that I wanted to talk about who, like he does every year, he's got his MVP status through week 1. Russell Wilson. Seahawks Colts. Seahawks won 28-16. Pretty matter of fact. Wilson threw 4 touchdowns. I mean, he looked amazing.
Yeah, I think that
Who
Colts defense is really going to be one of the better defenses in the league, but I think the Colts are another one of those teams that aren't ready to let go of the past or are trying to get that one veteran presence at quarterback with Wentz. But I just don't know if Wentz was the answer, in my opinion. I just think the Colts defense is definitely going to be the highlight this year, and
Sure.
Wentz is going to have to figure that out. But in week 1, the Colts, they're still a young defense. I feel like by come week 3 or 4, they're going to start shutting out some teams.
I 100% agree with you. I think the Colts are one of the few teams that I'm going to give the week 1 pass to, because this is kind of they're sort of a newly assembled team. Not like they didn't add like a bunch of pieces, but the pieces that they did add this offseason were huge, and last offseason as well. And this is sort of this season and next season are going to be the seasons where they're really coming together. This really more than any season is the let's figure things out here and really mesh as a team to really make a push. And I think that when you have a new quarterback, especially, and a young cast around Carson Wentz, is that there's going to be some growing pains, especially maybe in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the year. And I honestly feel like that I can attribute that to this game more than anything. But just
McCord, here,
yeah.
I have a hypothetical question for you here.
All right.
As a little bit of a Colts fan, shout out
Okay.
Uncle Tony.
Shout out Uncle Tony.
Do you think that the Colts would be Super Bowl contenders, if not have won a Super Bowl, if Andrew Luck stayed on the Colts? With this Colts defense, do you think they would be contenders with Andrew Luck?
I think they'd be contenders 100%. I think they'd be in a sort of a similar spot as the Rams, maybe not quite on that level, but right up there with a stout defense. And just Luck was such a talent. And
I mean, that Chiefs Colts playoff game where that was,
sure.
I think that's still one of the greatest games.
For sure. I think that's a great question. I think that the Colts have had to figure out to try to get someone almost like a B tier version of Andrew Luck, which I think Wentz is that, which is a good thing. But I don't
know. I feel like
it just hurts, man.
I feel like the Wentz move was more of a reverse Peyton on what they did to Peyton.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that I got a kick out of that a little bit, but the Colts defense is just so stout. They just need to figure it out on offense. I mean, they have pieces like Jonathan Taylor, Pittman. I mean, T.Y. Hilton if he comes back, but that T.Y. is another guy that's a veteran that may need to go soon. But the Colts defense is by far one of the tops in the league.
I agree. I think that I do believe in Wentz to just figure it out over the next coming weeks. I'm a believer in him, and I think that the Colts Titans rivalry in that division is going to be a fun one to watch, especially coming down the stretch, for sure.
Yeah, that Titans offense versus the Colts defense is going to be entertaining. I feel like those two teams will definitely battle for the division.
100%. But speaking of the Titans offense, what happened this week, Ty? What do you think was the difference between the Titans only putting up 13 compared to the Cardinals 38 this week?
Lawan got abused. Chandler Jones.
Yes, he did.
Absolutely just teed off on him.
Yeah, I'm giving him my
happened, but the Titans just offensive line got abused. Derrick Henry was held held. I mean, how many yards did Derrick Henry have? Do we have a number on that?
I can pull that up real quick. Rushing, Derrick Henry was held to 17 carries for 58 yards. That was it.
That's not Derrick Henry. That's not rushing title
Yeah.
2020. I mean,
Cardinals held Tannehill to 21 for 35, 212, a touchdown and a pick.
he also had I think he was pass hurried. I don't know how many times, but he also had 2 fumbles because I mean Chandler Jones is just coming at his blind side every play, just almost unblocked.
Mm-hmm. Just absolutely phenomenal game from Chandler Jones. Just
Honestly,
tip my cap to him.
By the Cardinals. Kyler Murray absolutely came to play, but I don't really think that Titans defense is really going to be his test. I feel like that Cardinals team's test is really going to be that division.
Yeah. Also, big shout out to Christian Kirk and DeAndre Hopkins and Christian Kirk both put up a pair of touchdowns.
And I think somebody that's really underrated on that Cardinals team that's going to play a big role as he learns the offense is Rondale Moore out of Purdue.
He had a big game as well.
Yeah, he had a few catches, but I feel like once he learns that offense more, they are going to use him so much as almost like a screen guy and speed guy. I feel like I think he's really going to be what they wanted Andy Isabella to be.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but coming into this season, I almost underrated the Cardinals, maybe overlooked them a touch.
I've always been high on them. I mean, I liked Kyler Murray. I liked DeAndre Hopkins. I've been high on their offense. What's going to scare me is their defense. I don't know if their defense playing a team like the Seahawks or
God, I love that combo of Chandler Jones and Isaiah Simmons. It's just awesome.
I mean, I feel like we're also the
Cardinals. And Budda Baker?
And I think you're also forgetting the Cardinals edition of J.J. Watt.
And J.J. Watt. Oh, my gosh. Oof.
I just really don't. I think it's going to come down to their corners. I really do. I feel like if the Cardinals corners play lockdown, that is definitely a contender team once again.
100%. God, that Cardinals Rams matchup is going to be great.
That Cardinals Rams Seahawks 49ers division is an absolute doozy this year.
Stacked.
And just think, 2 of those teams won't even probably make the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't have much to say here about the 49ers, but
the Lions need to be regulated. Put them in the Falcons in their own little division, and they can just play every week.
I think they took a moral victory. They only lost by 8. I will say they were up by what? They were up by 31-10 at one point. So, come back from the Lions a little bit. Actually, I did want to point out real quick I don't plan to spend too much time on this game, but Jared Goff did have a solid game. 338 yards, 3 TDs, and a pick, but I think overall solid game from him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that 49ers, besides Nick Bosa, I don't really think that 49ers defense is too great. I feel like the 49ers are definitely going to be that bottom of the division team.
Which is crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like in any other division, they'd probably be a 2 or a 3. But I feel like in this division, they're definitely going to be last because the Cardinals, Seahawks, and Rams are just going to
also
massive contenders.
Shout out to Trey Lance for throwing a touchdown as well. Love to see that. One for one for a touchdown. All right, moving over to
let's jump to that Cincy Vikings.
That's exactly where I was gonna go to. What do you think about that? Game. Your LSU boys balled out there.
Oh, I love to see it. I mean, Jamar finally discovered what hands are. I mean, he was ready to go. The Burrow looked solid. I mean, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but that Bengals offense is going to be very good. But I just don't know if their defense is capable of stopping much.
Yeah. I'm so excited to watch that whole core grow. I think it's amazing.
I feel like that Bengals team is definitely starting their climb.
Yeah, I picked the Vikings going into this game, and the Bengals really pleasantly surprised me. I was really excited to see the offensive production. I think Burrow looked really poised. Even the rookies and the receivers. I mean, everyone looked like they were locked in on what they were doing, which sounds cliche, but like it looked great.
we'll definitely get into picks. Our pick results later on in the week with the guys.
Yeah, we'll post that later on for sure,
And
and
also,
the beginning of the
quick
next
little
episode.
update: Ravens Raiders is a tie game with 3.5 minutes to go.
Very exciting finish there for
So
sure.
that should be interesting as well.
Yeah. One game that we were both looking at that was going to be a really good game. I'm pretty sure you and I both went Chargers here. Chargers Washington.
Yes, we both went
Yeah,
Chargers, I believe.
big game. Again, really good game. I think these are both two good teams going head to head.
Yeah, I feel like
Tough break for
it's
Fitzpatrick.
that Herbert played solid. I mean,
Mhm.
337 passing. I mean, he just had trouble getting in the end zone, really. But I
Yeah.
feel like both defenses are just so solid.
Yeah. I think that's where that surprised me because I felt like um Taylor Heineke came in and played a very solid game after
Yeah, I feel
Fitzpatrick
like
went down.
as much as I like Fitzpatrick and Fitzmagic, I feel like Heineke's definitely the guy.
I think
If
he
Washington's
is.
going to try to make a playoff push, it's going to be Heineke.
He keeps proving in like games that he needs to come through or play well on that he's that guy. He's kind of tough though. He's lost twice when he's played well, but tough draw when you're playing against a great team like the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, that game was solid, but if we're jumping to, I have two games that I just want to really quick mention.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolute shockers to me were the Texans Jaguars game
Yeah, me as well.
and the Steelers Bills. I
Why
mean, the
don't
Bills just didn't come to play, but let's talk about
why
that
don't we
Texans
yeah, why don't we
Jaguars
we'll
first.
quickly touch on Jaguars and then move over to the Steelers game.
The
Uh
Texans Jaguars game, if that showed me
that
what
boy
Urban
Tyrod
Meyer is as
Taylor.
a coach, the Jaguars are in for an absolute doozy. I mean, it
Yeah.
was horrific to watch. As
Mm,
a James Robinson fantasy owner, seeing him get one carry through the first half or two carries through the first half, and
amazing.
just didn't I didn't know what to say. And Urban Meyer just it was just Lawrence looked lost. Urban Meyer looked lost. I was amazed by that.
Yeah. Growing pains for sure. What
I
did
mean,
you think of Trevor? w-
he was
Use one word to describe what you thought of Lawrence's debut.
one. I think I'm gonna go two words. I think it was just stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching Lawrence and he'd get out of the pocket, make a great play, and then he just there was multiple times where he'd be scrambling and have a lane or an open receiver, and he'd just make the stupid pass. It's like almost in Madden when you know the linebacker's right there, but you're gonna throw it anyway.
Mhm.
I mean, it was just stupid mistakes that really cost him.
Yeah. Growing
And
pains for sure. Yeah.
I think overall, Carlos Hyde led Jacksonville in rushing with 9 carries, and then behind that it was James Robinson with
I
5.
hate it's tough. It's tough for James Robinson. I'm a big James Robinson believer. To see him only get 5 carries in a game against a weak opponent like that is tough. Of course, they got down really early and really couldn't run the ball very much, but still, you'd love to see your not star, but your really really solid running back, your young running back get
He
a
was
lot of
averaging
carries.
5 yards a carry. I mean, with a long of 7 out of
Yeah,
5 carries. I mean, I I just don't understand why you're not feeding
yeah.
a guy that had a monster season last year. Instead,
I
you're going to the veteran.
I'm very excited to see them bounce back next week against the Broncos. I think it'll be a good game there. See if the
I
rushing
just
game can
don't.
come back.
I don't know. I was high on this Jag. I wouldn't say high, but I had
You were
decent expectations.
yeah, you were optimistic about like the on-field
I was
play.
optimistic about their climb, but if anything, this just showed me that they're just back down to square zero. Where that a team like that Bengal team definitely shows a
Yeah,
climb, shows a fight.
yeah. I'm gonna give Lawrence a pass for a few weeks there. We'll let him get in there. I do really want to see James Robinson with more
I
production than he
I think
got.
I'm gonna give Urban Meyer one more week to figure out what's going on.
Dang, one more
I mean,
week. All right.
I you can't play the Texans and the Broncos and at least not come away with. I mean, you have to at least have
I'm not even going to say a
35
win.
combined points.
Yeah, I'm not
I
even
mean,
going to say a win.
something's not right.
Just some offensive production. We'll give him. I'm going to give him some time though. New coach, new quarterback. We'll see. I'm confident that things will turn in a positive
I just
direction.
haven't. I've never been too high on Urban Meyer. He's always been an odd character to me. So I just don't know how that's going to play out. But we can go ahead and go to that.
Yeah, one
Bills.
team that I am positive that's going to turn around. That was this was probably my big shock of the week was the Steelers going into Buffalo, stealing
That
a big win.
Steelers D line is unreal.
Really, really great game. Big Ben played
They
solid,
had
which
they had
surprised me.
3 guys out of the top 5 in the NFL in pass hurries.
That's
That's
phenomenal.
that is
Phenomenal.
phenomenal. I mean, they just stuck it to the Bills. Josh Allen just he was hurried every single play and just didn't have time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, that Bills offense really struggled with that Steelers defense.
Yeah. Great game from the Steelers. Where do you see the Steelers going from here? Do you think they keep up this momentum?
I mean, I feel like the Steelers are definitely going to be a very good regular season team, and that defense is definitely going to take them places. But I don't know if that offense is Super Bowl championship type offense.
Mm-hmm. I got
Because
you.
I feel like that Steelers team matched up against the Rams team. I'm taking that Rams offense to put more points up than that Steelers team.
Yeah, I think that my biggest question mark for the Steelers is honestly Ben Roethlisberger,
Exactly.
which feels weird because he's a future Hall of Famer, but I just feel like that quarterback position can be very inconsistent for them at times. And
Yeah,
even though
especially, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Najee edition, and
I am as well, yeah.
I mean, I really wish the Steelers wide receivers would just stop just being so controversial and messing around all the time because it would make the Steelers so much more likable. But I feel like that Steelers offense is solid. They just need if they're gonna
Juju,
play
Chase,
into the
Ebron, yeah.
Juju Claypool TikTok narrative, they need a younger quarterback. They don't need a guy who's the old guy just kind of around there, you know?
Yeah,
It's
I
just
see.
something doesn't fit right.
Yeah, I don't know if yeah, yeah, I 100% see what you're saying there. Well, is there any other games that we should mention real quick? Um,
Let's. What do you think of quick? What do we think of Zach Wilson versus the Sam Darnold matchup?
honestly, very surprising to me. Well, not very surprising, but just I'm very positive about both teams in a way. Um, I obviously think the Jets are they just don't know what they're doing really on defense, but I was pleasantly surprised with Zach Wilson's debut.
Not bad. 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception
Yep.
for first game against a not horrible defense.
And I was surprised with the Carolina Panthers. I think they honestly they let me take that back. I'm not going to say I was surprised, but they played, it
I
felt,
don't know if you mean the Carolina Panthers. I think you mean Christian McCaffrey
yeah, that
has
is what I meant.
with
Yeah.
9 receptions and 21 carries. That is absurd.
Dude is a menace. Yeah. Shout out to Sam Darnold, though. No
But I think
turnovers.
that's something the Carolina coaching staff needs to watch, that Christian McCaffrey does not get overworked and hurt again.
Yeah, for sure. Solid week one from honestly from both teams. I'm just looking to see some growth out of the Jets. That's all I'm trying to see. And I think we saw that out of week one from basically that whole offense. So
Yeah,
I like everything that's going on over there. And did we touch on Dolphins Patriots?
we did not.
That
I
was a
mean,
good one. I was
that was also a good one. I feel like this Patriots offense is really good. I
yeah.
mean, I feel like this Dolphins defense is really good as well, but this Patriots offense with Mac Jones played pretty good.
possibly the best QB debut, I would say.
I would say so.
Yeah, I think yeah, for sure out of this draft
I mean,
class.
281 yards and a touchdown. I'm sure he could have been a tad more accurate at some points, but as a rookie in your first game, he definitely came to play.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what else did I want to say? Um honestly just a nice defensive battle. Both defenses played really well, and I'm honestly surprised to see the Dolphins go into Foxborough and pull out a win. Good, like shout out to them. I had them winning, but shout out to them for going in there and playing a great game.
Yeah, I had the Dolphins winning as well, but I feel like the real star we can say Mac Jones played well, but I mean Damian Harris,
100%. Yeah,
23 carries and 100
Tri-
plus yards.
triple digits. Yep.
I mean he's going to carry the rock for the Patriots this year, and I think I'm really excited to watch him work. As a fantasy owner of both Damian Harris and James Robinson, I think I'm giving my next week's start to Damian Harris.
There you go. I'm very curious to see. I don't know if Tua had the greatest game, but I am excited to see him against a Bills defense next week at home. So we'll see how he plays next week.
Yeah, real quickly, I mean, is there any game that you want to mark as our game to watch next week?
Game to watch next week. I'm probably gonna go Rams Colts for my game to watch next week. I think those are two very even teams, very similar teams in the way that they're made up, and two Rams Super Bowl contenders, and the Colts could be on that borderline if they kind of figure things out on offense.
I think I'm going to highlight two more games that I mean that I think are going to be great games. They got the later game, Cowboys Chargers and Titans Seahawks. I feel like both of those games can
Yeah.
really be thrillers.
The Sunday afternoon games are really, really good.
I mean,
Titans,
except for
Seahawks, Cowboys, Chargers, and then Ravens, Chiefs. Great
I
games.
mean, even Vikings Cardinals isn't horrible, but I mean that Falcons Buccaneers game, we're not even gonna.
Hey, I didn't mention that for a reason.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slaughter if the
uh,
Falcons come out with a win. I mean,
uh, Ty, I don't think I heard your player of the game for this week. Who'd you give your player of the game to?
my player of
Or
the
player of the week,
game.
sorry. Player of the week too.
I
I think mine on
think
offense was Jameis Winston and defense was Chandler Jones.
I think defensively, I may have to go Chandler Jones as well. I mean,
Yeah.
Chandler Jones or T.J. Watt, both of those guys played great off the edge.
Hmm.
I don't want to go Jameis because you also went Jameis, but
Yeah. You can go Jameis too.
I really want to go Jameis. He'll be my one. But if I
Hmm.
had to go two, I mean, I feel like I don't.
Give it to Jamar.
Jamar played well, but I'd have to go either that Russell Wilson
Yeah,
or
there you
Kyler
go.
Murray. Kyler Murray played lights out as well. I
Yeah,
mean, four touchdowns passing, and I think he had one
phenomenal.
rushing. He was lights out. I mean, I feel like Jameis, Kyler, as well as Russell played absolutely lights out games.
100%. Yeah. All right. Well, you got anything else to say about this week?
Um, I think we're in for another great week of the NFL, and hopefully we'll get up another episode for you guys. Maybe bring back battles and have all the guys back on here. But it's good that football's back, and I'm excited.
Very excited. And before we head out, make sure to listen to us on Spotify and follow us on the Instagram at the Final Drive Podcast, on Twitter at TFD Pod. And that's pretty much going to do it here for
All right,
the week one roundup. All right, y'all. Have a good week
peace out.
and see you, Ty.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. So the Ravens Raiders game just wrapped up right after Ty and I had finished recording. And man, what an overtime! That was one of the wildest week one games I can remember seeing. Astounding game from the Raiders. What a great NFL game to open up the year. Just wanted to comment on that really quick to just to let y'all know that we did not forget about it. But yeah, do everything that I said before, and this is going to be it right here. Have a good week, y'all.